You want it to be one way.
What?
You want it to be one way.
Man, I don't
want
know
it to be one
Man,
way.
stop. Stop saying that.
But it's the other way.
Yup. It's your boy Rain. Welcome back. It's the ATP Combat Media Show. I am your host, Claymore Rain. Welcome. Salute to all my subscribers. Salute to everybody watching this now. If you are not subscribed, I do invite you to please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so you get all the alerts on the contents that I'm dropping. And on that note, let's get right into it. Gervonta Tank Davis. Man, what a year. Coming to the end of this year, it's been for Gervonta Tank Davis. I mean, when we look all the way back to him leaving from the moment he left Floyd Mayweather and the Money Team, having his own promotional company, having a fight with Ryan Garcia, then he goes and then he has probation and court issues to deal with, goes from probation to jail, does some time in jail, comes out of jail, goes back on probation, has issues where he's going back and forth with a judge, at the same time being called out by DEVIN HANEY and Bill HANEY for a fight, while dealing with issues on going to the gym to train. He's been locked down to his city. All these different things. His promotional company that he does work for but doesn't work for, as far as Al Heyman and PBC is concerned, shut down their deal, or their deal gets shut down or nullified with Showtime. They have to run around looking for somewhere. They find a deal with Amazon Prime during that time. I mean, we can go down the list, right? Now they got to deal with Amazon Prime. DEVIN HANEY and Bill HANEY and Eddie Hearn are talking about $20 million they have for Gervonta. He's just getting shot at from every single direction. And, you know, as time is developing, he's gone ahead and said, you know what? I need some spiritual grounding. I've got a lot going on in my life right now. What's the next move for me to do? He goes and he converts to being a Muslim. God bless him. We all supported him on that. But now he takes it just one more step further. Past converting to become Muslim, he's actually gone ahead and changed his name to Abdul Wahid. So from now on, we will know him as Abdul Wahid, formerly known as Gervonta Tank Davis. Good thing or bad thing? I mean, when you talk about spiritual healing, when you're talking about becoming grounded in a spiritual way and finding that bridge between you and God, how can that be a bad thing? The spiritual benefits are there. I mean, there's some political things that may be involved in it as well. And we have to ask ourselves, how does this affect him on a business level? I mean, being that him and DEVIN HANEY now are technically spiritual brothers, I would think that it would probably change the temperature and probably change the whole angle of how they're coming at each other to promote this fight. You know, time will tell this story, right? On a business level, I don't know what that means. I mean, what comes to my mind is, all right, he's changed his name. If this is an official name change, how does this affect him as far as name rights are concerned, as far as whatever contracts he may have had out there floating between him and, let's say, a Tom Brown or Al Heyman? How does that look for him? You know, is he still contractually binded to be in business with everybody? Or is there some kind of loophole that's there now, being that he is a different person now? Legally, if he changes his name, does his name that was Gervonta Tank Davis hold the same weight as if he would have signed Abdul Wahid? We also have to combine that with the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis there's been rumors about him, you know, potentially having some issues with the way Al Heyman has been moving with coordinating his business now that he's separated from Showtime, keeping him in the dark a little bit and him not knowing what's going on. I would say that through tweets that he's put out there, that he's not necessarily 100% comfortable with the way things have been working out. He's getting called out by DEVIN HANEY, and it sometimes at some point seems like his arms are tied, like his hands are tied in his ability to actually move forward and coordinate something with DEVIN HANEY. Not to mention another rumor going around that supposedly Al Haymon did bring him an offer and that he did turn down the offer. Now, we don't know if it was whether it was because of monetized as far as the money he was going to get out of it, or for whether or not it was the actual fight that Al Haymon was trying to coordinate, or maybe it was a little bit of both. But either way, when you see him go and change his name, a lot of people are looking into the fact that the spiritual level, they kind of compare it to what happened with Muhammad Ali. But if you really look at the temperature and the environment that Gervonta Tank Davis is in right now, a lot of people are questioning his the actual power that he holds over his over his name. There's even rumors of Steven Espinoza supposedly possibly having some sort of rights to Gervonta Davis's name, or at least the fights that he was in at Showtime. I'm not sure how it breaks down. I mean, we're all in the dark about this. We're all on the outside looking in, but I think it's significant enough to ask questions and see, how does this affect him going forward with the business. I invite any kind of lawyers or contractual lawyers out there or of that nature who may have some better perspective on this because of their skill set that they have, to maybe comment on this and give some clarification as to where Gervonta Davis stands when it comes to this particular conversation. I mean, spiritually, we also know that, this is a good thing. He could use the grounding. He has so much things going on, but this is also possibly conveniently may open up some other doors that may or may not benefit Abdul Wahid, formerly known as Gervonta Tank Davis. A lot is going to develop, I'm sure, as the future comes around. Gervonta is supposedly supposed to be debuting in March of this year on Amazon Prime, on the Amazon Prime platform, as one of the biggest PBC fights to start off the year. I've also heard some rumors that potentially Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence may be scheduled around that time. Maybe Gervonta may take the back seat to that as things are getting ironed out. We still haven't heard about him training. I mean, from last I heard, he was having a difficult time getting in the gym and training with his people. The judge on his case seems to be being very strict, trying to provide a lot of structure around him that's not favoring or helping him to become a better fighter, to get him even ready to get in the ring. And to top it off, Gervonta Tank Davis has even commented on through Richardson Hitchin that he was willing to actually fight Devin Haney, at 140 pounds with no rehydration clause. So what does that say? To me, if you look at it from the outside looking and you take your time just off practical, critical thinking, it doesn't seem as if Gervonta Tank Davis is necessarily on the same page as Al Haymon, Leonard Ellaby, and Tom Brown. It doesn't seem as if he's on the same page with this team that is around him, who, from what we can tell from what the team has put out there from different rumors, that Gervonta Tank Davis is a 135-pound fighter, and that he's not interested in fighting 140-pound fighters. And if he is, there would be rehydration clauses or something of that nature, because Devin Haney is coming in the day after weigh-in, gaining about 20 plus pounds on the scale, and this would not be fair to Gervonta Tank Davis. I said this in an older video before. To me, I think it's profound that what I see Gervonta Tank Davis representing as far as his position in this Devin Haney situation, and just in general on his career, from old interviews he did when he stated that he had interest in fighting the Shakur Stevenses, the Devin Haneys, the Teofimo Lopez's, all these people that he was interested, that came out of his mouth, pause, that he was interested in fighting. It doesn't seem like the team around him is on the same page as him, because the more and more we look at it, Gervonta Tank Davis is motivated and willing to fight these guys, but also on the other side of the argument, the more and more we look at it, we don't see his team acting that way, moving in that direction, trying to coordinate these fights that Gervonta Tank Davis has shown, Abdul Wahid, formerly known as Gervonta Tank Davis, has shown in the past that he was interested in. I mean, things are going to develop. We don't know what's going on behind doors, and I always say that. We're sitting here, we're talking about what we see and what they provide for us to see through social media, through YouTube, to whatever they give us to see, but we don't see everything else. So we don't know. As far as I know, they could have been coordinating this. Negotiations can be happening in the background that we're not aware of. Who knows? All I know is Saudi Arabia supposedly has a $20 million minimum guarantee that they're willing to negotiate with Gervonta Tank Davis to fight Devin Haney. I know that Bill Haney and Devin Haney have been completely outspoken about their interest in the fight happening. I know that Gervonta Tank Davis has had his own responses on how he has no worries about fighting him. I know that through a great friend of Gervonta Tank Davis, Richardson Hitchin, has already made a public statement that he's spoken to his friend, and his friend is very conscious that Devin Haney cannot make the 135 pounds in a healthy way, that he's willing to fight Devin Haney at 140 pounds, and he's not even interested in putting any rehydration clauses in there. And if you guys want to take it back even further, when he had the fight with Ryan Garcia, he wasn't even aware of the rehydration clause until later on he found out that was happening. So that was a negotiation tactic that his team around him coordinated. So some might say the team is trying to do the best thing that's going to benefit Gervonta Tank Davis, but I'll tell you what, man, part of it is also wondering if the team has faith in Gervonta Tank Davis's ability to perform under these strong adverse in that strong adverse environment, right, where he's possibly getting weight bullied or things of that nature. So they're very cautious with Gervonta Tank Davis's career. They're handling his career with white gloves. Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't seem to be as reserved in the confidence on his ability to go ahead and perform in those situations. So we'll see how that pans out. But do me a favor, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Are we looking too deep in it? Is Gervonta Tank Davis just becoming Muslim and changing his name, and we just need to respect him on that level? Or could there be some potential convenient or inconvenient, however you want to look at it, perks or benefits to what he's doing as well as far as his career is concerned? Is he this converting to Muslim, is this going to adversely or affect his career in a positive way? And was that done with any purpose behind it? Is there any understanding of what his career looks like now that he's able to completely change his name to a complete different name, and also take on a whole faith that, if we really also want to look at it, we can get a little deeper into how the black Muslim community has a very high representation in boxing. So him doing this move could have all types of other motives behind it outside of him as well finding God, which I believe that's what it is. And I think if that's what it is, that's okay, right? At the end of the day, this helps Gervonta. A person like Gervonta, who's been into the situations he's been in over the past couple of years, he's grown a lot. We've watched him grow, coming in as a young man into this business, transitioning, partying a little too much in the beginning of his career with Adrian Broner and the likes of those people, and finally, having hard times to make weight, actually having a belt stripped from him because of a weight issue, and then coming back off the drinking, actually becoming more disciplined, getting closer to Calvin Ford, and growing into the man we see today, even with all the issues he may have had with the law. With his case that he's squaring away right now, there's still been a lot of maturity that we've seen from Gervonta Tank Davis over the years. So him becoming Muslim is just another step in the direction of that. That makes sense. That goes in line. That's in line with the way he's been moving and the trajectory that he's been going through as a man. I don't think it's that strange, but at the same time, I do have questions, no concerns, but just questions about, what this opens up for Gervonta Tank Davis. Does this affect his career in any kind of way? So you guys go ahead, leave me a message. Tell me what you think. Abdul Wahid, formerly known as Gervonta Tank Davis. What do we see in his future? Does this particular move he made have any positive or negative effects on his career from your guys' standpoints? And we'll follow up and see how this develops as time goes on. Hindsight is always 20/20. Foresight, there's always a lot of speculation in there. So we're always ready for things to be corrected, for things that we think to be wrong. We just want to get the story and see what's going on. So on that note, and at this point, it's your boy Claymore Rain. Please remember, subscribe. Go ahead and hit that bell icon so you can get all the alerts. Hit the like buttons, share with your friends. Until the next time, we out.
They hate when you elevate. The second of losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah.